Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. We have been witnessing a major shift in the scenery of course, blockchain payments, because again, with the global payments landscape on the brink of a major revolution, we really do look at the best-in-class technology to supercharge them. And blockchain, well, it's the answer. It's the key, if you will. And we actually have here from Ripple, 97% of payments leaders believe that blockchain and digital assets will have a significant role in enabling faster payments within the next 3 years. In our latest payments guide, discover how to accelerate global payments for an IT services business. And what's interesting about this is the timeline that we have been seeing from Ripple and major leaders around the space. It seems as though over the course of the next 3 years itself, and we're not talking about XRP pumping or anything like that. Again, timeline on that is different versus the adoption cycle. It seems as though within the next 3 years, the entire crypto landscape is going to change drastically. And I'm very excited to witness this and also see this. And I do think that a lot of it's going to be spotlighted and focused heavily on utility. But this is their latest payments guide. Discover how to accelerate global payments for an IT services business, which I do have this open over here. But first, I want to go back to the end of December, where Ripple actually posted this clip regarding their 2023 new value report, which was also talking about how over half of global payments leaders see faster payments or settlement times as the #1 value proposition for incorporating crypto into their cross-border payments business. And check this clip out.
It's no surprise that the global payments industry was one of the first to catch on to the advancements of crypto technology to improve its speed, security, and costs, just to name a few. New research has shown that over half of global payments leaders see faster payments or settlement times as the #1 value proposition for incorporating crypto into their cross-border payments business. Where, why, how is this technology intersecting across industries? Download Ripple's 2023 new value report to find out.
Now, we have addressed this report. We've been talking about, like I said, the adoption side of blockchain-based payments. It's only accelerating, and it's all because of these global payment leaders. And when we talk about these leaders, we're not talking about small fintech companies. We are talking about every single major giant out there. I mean, hell, even the BIS, the central bank of central banks, is now addressing and talking about the DLT and blockchain revolution within the payments landscape. The IMF, the World Bank, I mean, these are elite organizations. So as we really look at 2023 and what 2023 did for blockchain and crypto, I really do think that 2023 was the time that these big institutions and these big players started to take things a little bit more seriously, and they started to build. In 2024, this year, I do think that we are going to start to see a lot of it at scale and really start to be adopted. And the reason why I say that is because that was their overall timeline on this. Now, of course, it could be wrong, but I still believe that within the next year or two, this entire space is going to start to morph into a major opportunity for those that are seeing the value behind utility, understanding the value behind utility, and also witnessing the growth and the adoption of it happening in real time. And it's all through major players like Ripple, for an example. And when I talk about Ripple and when I talk about XRP, obviously, yes, two completely different entities. We have Ripple, the company. They are leveraging XRP, the currency, and also the technology behind the XRP ledger for a lot of their internal processes. When we look at Ripple, they are pioneering and ultimately becoming a gateway to mass adoption of blockchain-based payments and even blockchain-based technology. But outside of this, we have the IT services businesses supercharge global payments with blockchain. Now, if we scroll down, we can see that worldwide spending on IT services is expected to reach $1.5 trillion this year. With talent growing increasingly scarce, companies are looking to expand overseas to tap into a global workforce. But for most businesses that engage in cross-border payments, managing payroll and vendor payments across a worldwide network means relying on slow, expensive, opaque transactions from a legacy payment system. Again, we're talking about the global monetary system here. And this is why I always say, like, we are now at the point in time where the global monetary system is at make or break. All right, it needs to innovate or it will get replaced by this new financial system. And that's what we are actually witnessing right now. Because again, I have been mentioning how all of these elites are telling you their plan of action. Yet I still see the comments on the video. Yeah, XRP is still sitting at 57 cents. XRP is still sitting here. I want you guys to all understand that, right now, the best thing that you can do is diversify. Have your set goal on XRP, lock it away, because again, we know how valuable XRP actually is in terms of its viability and use case potential. Lock it away, have your goal in mind, diversify your holdings, and make a ton of money off of other great assets in the space. In the short term, I don't think that we are going to see, XRP hitting $1,000 or anything like that. But when we talk about the long-term span here, I still believe that XRP could hit the $100 plus mark. And who knows where it can go from there. Again, I still think that when we talk about utility, when we talk about the change in scenery around the space that's already occurring, I do think that utility is going to be very, very valuable. Because again, this is technology at the end of the day. Technology always wins. But also, if we look into a few things within this, we have the guide details key benefits of blockchain-powered payments and breaks down how Ripple Payments, an enterprise payment solution, can bridge two currencies in 3 seconds with one fixed FX rate. Now, this is addressing XRP. And what this guide is it's the guide regarding accelerating global payments for your IT services business. But what's crazy about this is they're talking about the FX market. They're talking about the FX rates regarding the FX market. This is a $7.5 trillion per day market, mind you, and Ripple already dominates 90% of it. And here we have outmoded global payment system. The challenges of cross-border payments are well documented. Global businesses that rely on a diminishing network of correspondent banks must wait days for money to arrive at its destination, often incurring additional transaction fees or news that the payment has failed. And again, this is another big thing to address, right? Like, we're talking about the FX market, $7.5 trillion per day. We're talking about the global monetary system, every single dollar that moves on a 24/7, 365 basis. When we're talking about the revolution happening here, yeah, I do think that a lot of these assets, including XRP, are going to be very valuable. I don't think that XRP is going to move all the money, but hell, even a small percentage of it would drastically increase the value and ultimately give us incredible wealth creation just by holding very small amounts of it. But you shouldn't have a small goal in mind. You should set your goal at least, I would say like 25,000 XRP. And the reason why I say 25,000 XRP is I'm more so looking at the short term. But for anybody out there, I still think that anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 XRP will be valuable, very valuable in the long term. But here we have legacy institutions take on average 2 to 5 days for final settlement, charge up to $100 per transaction, and experience error rates of between 4 to 6%. To add insult to injury, businesses have no visibility into the status of a payment and must tie up critical capital in pre-funded accounts on either side of the transaction to facilitate liquidity. And remember, this is Nostro Vostro accounts. 27 trillion was the last known amount that was actually locked away in these accounts. That is a very significant amount of trapped capital. And again, this is why I say, like, in the short term, yeah, XRP can probably go anywhere between like $7 to $10, which is why I say 25,000 XRP makes you a decent amount of money. But in the long term here, when I talk about 5,000, 10,000 XRP, that could be worth a significant amount. Because at the end of the day, and on the long-term path here, when we start to see major change happening around our global financial system, and with DLT and blockchain at the forefront of it, disrupting the status quo, allowing for things like trapped capital to be a thing of the past, and to allow instant settlement to finally be realized in, that is extremely valuable of a use case. And it's something that gets so overlooked in this space because, again, we're all thinking short term. You need to start thinking long term as well. But here we have, for those companies expanding their global networks into complex payments corridors like India, Brazil, and Mexico, these challenges are even greater. It can literally be faster, cheaper, and more transparent to send someone with a suitcase full of money from one country to another. Still, with the $1.5 trillion revenue opportunity, providers continue to expand and accept this antiquated system as the status quo. And here we have streamlined vendor payments. Again, these are some of the big companies that are already working with Ripple, or at least on par with Ripple. For example, here is the head of Instagram. Managing a global business across 40 different geographies comes with the expectation that you can do business 24/7, regardless of time zones, holidays, or bank cutoff hours. Ripple Payments, which was originally on-demand liquidity with XRP at the forefront, does just that, offering businesses reliable, affordable, real-time cross-border payments powered by blockchain technology. IT service providers using Ripple Payments gain the flexibility to pay vendors, suppliers, or employees in real time all around the world. And because Ripple Payments doesn't require pre-funding, IT service providers are able to invest previously trapped capital into other areas of the business, settle payments instantly as well. Any business that has sent money across borders is acquainted with the achingly slow days-long timeline associated with traditional payment networks. And with a roughly 25% decline in global correspondent banking relationships, between 2011 and 2020, payment chains have grown even longer, making transactions slower and costlier than ever as business capital flows through multiple banks. So now the opportunity, it's so much greater than ever before in time, because now they are slower, they're costlier. This is a big problem. Ripple Payments turns this dynamic on its head, affording businesses faster payments with transactions that settle in 3 to 5 seconds, enabling companies to respond to urgent requests, earn potential discounts from vendors or suppliers, and reconcile payments more quickly. Improve transparency and reduce cost as well. Again, this is talking about the FX market. This is a major deal. And we even see at the end, with upfront pricing and FX quotes, 360-degree visibility throughout a payment, and detailed payment data for reconciliation, companies that can use Ripple to improve their partner and customer experience while gaining a significant competitive advantage. Ultimately, IT services companies that recognize this critical role cross-border transactions play in growing their business can use Ripple Payments to leapfrog the limitations of outmoded legacy payments providers. With Ripple, these businesses are able to diversify their supply chain, offer payouts in local currencies, tap into a global workforce, bring on customers in new markets, access greater number of software and licenses, and better compete with other providers. And Ripple makes it easy for non-blockchain native businesses. Companies can integrate Ripple Payments seamlessly into their current payment infrastructure using just one simple API to enhance their payment options, streamline operations, grow revenue, and tap into liquidity that never sleeps. And guys, the big thing to note here is how simple it is to integrate this into their actual infrastructure. It is so crucial to understand how big of a game changer that is, because even banks, right? Think about it like this. Banks care about one thing. Do you know what that is? Making money. Literally, making money. Banks don't want to pay the IT individuals, for an example. They don't want to spend money learning new things. They don't want to change their overall infrastructure. No, they want to be able to tap into something as easy as possible, as simple as possible. They don't want to rip, tear, and replace. That's why these APIs from, for example, Ripple with Ripple Payments is an absolute game changer. It allows big banks, any bank, even fintech companies, IT services businesses, anyone to instantly tap in to an enhanced payments option that not only streamlines every single operation, but it also allows these companies, these banks, these big players to grow their revenue and have unlimited liquidity that never sleeps. And this is an absolute game changer. And I want you all to understand how valuable that actually is in the long term. Now, outside of this, I seen a great post by Good Morning Crypto, and it was actually quoting David Schwarz. There's a few quotes here and there's a few images. XRP holders must read. In these images, Ripple CTO David Schwarz unveils the true value of XRP and its similarities to Bitcoin functions, emphasizing its decentralized nature and dispelling misconceptions about its exclusive use case by banks. Joel Katz firmly dismisses the notion that private banks can effortlessly clone an asset, labeling such claims as absolutely absurd. And yes, we've talked about this, right? Swift tried to do this experiment. Guess what? It failed because nobody wants to utilize centralized currencies. They don't want an asset that is controlled by one entity. This is why XRP is so damn lucrative as a bridge currency and as a decentralized currency, because it's not controlled by anyone. All of these big players have control of it, technically speaking, because it's fully decentralized. They don't have to rely on the US. They don't have to rely on JP Morgan. They don't have to rely on SWIFT, which is dominated by the US. So when we talk about how big of a game changer XRP actually is, it's massive. But here are some of the bombshells that David Schwarz did drop. I see XRP's value proposition as much the same as Bitcoin's, except XRP is faster and cheaper to use and better for payments. The uses you're talking about are secondary use cases because of that value proposition. Then also over here, who wants a crypto run by Ripple? If XRP isn't run by Ripple, then why imply that Bankcoin is run by banks if it's just a fork of XRP Ledger? But more importantly, XRP and Bitcoin and Ethereum are opposites in this regard. Bitcoin's value proposition is an alternative to centralized banks. XRP's value depends on adoption by them. Different stakeholders, different incentives. You're entirely wrong on this, and the market disagrees with you. If you were right, XRP and Bitcoin prices would be much less correlated. In other words, it's an argument divorced from evidence. You can use XRP for all the same things you can use Bitcoin, and people do. And then over here, no, XRP has a gigantic value specifically as speculation that it will be eventually used by financial institutions and others. If those same institutions actually use new coin, then new coin would instantly be more valuable than XRP. If that's right, it's that XRP will be an open decentralized asset that will be used by financial institutions and others. That's why XRP's price primarily tracks the value of other open decentralized assets more than it tracks any specific XRP related or Ripple related news. If you think walled gardens are better for financial institutions than open systems, we can have that argument. If you're just saying some other asset may try to do the same thing XRP is doing and do it better, sure, everything faces that competition. The idea that any group can just clone an asset and easily have a lead, however, is absolutely absurd. It hasn't worked for Bitcoin or Ethereum, and I can't see it working for XRP. Who wants a crypto run by banks? And this is so crucial. But also, I love that quote at the end there, because remember, this is from 2018. His quote here was the fact that when we talk about the market, who is going to do this better than XRP, for an example? And who has the lead over XRP? When we talk about this, right? For an example, like major banks, JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, you name it, they're going to most likely be the last players on the list to actually adopt this technology because, again, they don't want to lose. They don't want to give up. They have an ego to play. For an example, watch videos about Jamie Dimon and how he reacts to blockchain and crypto when he's not trying to manipulate it. The guy is very egotistical because, again, they make a ton of money off of the monopoly banking sector. But when we talk about the lead here, right? Who has the largest lead around this space? And when we talk about this space, we're talking about blockchain-based payments. We're talking about streamlining cross-border payments. Ripple with XRP has been doing this for over a decade. Think about that. For over a decade, they already had 300 plus institutions on par. Now it's over 500 from the last report that we've seen. And the big players are already tapping in. For an example, Ripple's already working with major central banks. Ripple's already working with the BIS, the central bank of central banks. Ripple has already been spotlighted on the IMF documents, on the World Bank documents. I mean, when we really look at the opportunity here, XRP is so far ahead of any other player in the space. Ripple as a company is absolutely killing it. Not to mention how the SEC lawsuit did not even slow Ripple down at all. It might have stifled XRP's price action, but at the end of the day, we are playing the long game here. I don't care about what XRP is going to be worth a week from now or a month from now, let alone a year from now. And the reason why I say that is because, again, when we talk about the .com bubble, right? Anybody that was buying Amazon in the early days and selling it a week or even a year later was not making incredible wealth. Give it a couple years, and all of a sudden, Amazon was starting to pick up traction. And within 10 years, those original holders of Amazon stock were extremely wealthy depending on how much they bought. And this is why I say, when we're talking about traditional stocks versus this type of technology, it is night and day. This is much larger than the internet boom. This is much larger than any technological advancement in history. So when we talk about XRP being worth $100, $500, or possibly even $1,000 plus, it can 100% happen in time. We don't know how long that's going to take, but we do know that there's a significant value here. The value proposition behind XRP is just as significant as Bitcoin, but on a much larger scale, considering the overall efficiencies that XRP does have as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.